welcome into episode 3 of the Justin Perri Show. We have a very, very fun episode for you all today because we are talking conference tournaments. You see the schedule of what we have for you to hear about today. No lack in excitement. It is March. We have had a great start, a fun weekend around here, of course, shot quality and betcast, and I had a hot weekend. So I'm really in a great mood, really excited to bring in our guests today. I have a really exciting panel, one that I've been looking forward to having for a long time. So let's just get this show on the road, bring in some very good friends, some familiar faces, some you may not know just yet. So we're going to go around the horn. I'll introduce everyone, say what's up in case you haven't heard from every single one of them yet. I know a few are kind of sleepers, but that's what we're going to do around here. We're going to bring up some folks that maybe you have never heard of. You should, though. That's the idea. So from the top, Max Hofmeyer, one of the writers at Shot Quality Bets. He's been on the show before. Max, you don't need too much of an introduction around here. You help out on Betcast. You're a stud for us at Shot Quality Bets. How's your Monday going? First Monday of March.
Great. Ready to go. Conference tournaments officially start today, so let's do it.
No pressure, baby. No pressure. 3-point sniper, otherwise known as Jackson. Man, I am excited. This is the first time I think you've come on a show with me. You're also another one of the writers. Oh, someone's got some echoes. There you go. One of the writers of Shot Quality Bets, doing awesome work, a great following. Had to get you on the team this year. You were using the data incredibly last year. What are you excited most for about March? And welcome to the show, man.
No, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me. I'm just excited for Selection Sunday, to be honest with you. I know these upcoming weeks are the favorite for some people out there, the conference tournaments, but I'm most excited about Selection Sunday when I can get the bracket, dissect it, maybe try to find another future like plus 1,600 UConn.
Hey, well, we hope so. We hope so. Yeah, you've been doing well. Futures are such an interesting market. We'll get into them, talk about our strategies in doing it. Some of us might prefer rollover money lines. Some of us might be locking up futures and have a few plays for you here today. Definitely make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be a great hour on the show. Now, my next guest is someone I've been meaning to bring forward as maybe my secret weapon, and that's Rohtas Wadera. Rohtas, we go back over 25 years. We went to preschool together, grew up together. Without you, I probably wouldn't know half as much about college basketball as I do today. So thank you for making some time in your day to come up here. And I'm excited for people to just be blown away by how much you know about this sport. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, JP. Really excited to be here and really just excited to be part of a panel where everyone just loves college basketball as much as I do. I've watched you guys and everyone here knows their stuff like incredibly well. I'm impressed with everyone here, and it's just exciting to be a part of this, man. So it's the best time of year, and
let's go.
It's the time when bubbles get burst. So it's time.
Oh, we'll talk about that. And my final guest today, a few of you guys know him. He's been a good friend of mine for almost four, Tim, basketball seasons since we got our start together, kind of coming up in the Number Edge Discord in 2020, 2021. We've stayed close throughout a lot. One of the sharpest guys you've probably never heard of. But we're going to change that right here on the Justin Perri Show. Tim Splant.
What's up, everybody?
College basketball handicapper. Welcome in, baby. Let him rip.
Thanks, man.
How you doing?
First of all, congrats to you on this new show.
Thank you.
It's amazing to be here. I'm excited. College basketball is our life. We run these Discords.
These streets, baby. These streets. Yeah. So, if you want to join the conversation that a lot of us are a part of, we have a Discord for the Justin Perri Show. Make sure you just go to the Justin Perri Show at Twitter. It's all listed right there. I think it's also in the YouTube description. So come on in, join the conversation, totally free. I'm trying to make the best conversations in basketball, baseball, and we actually added a racing channel. If you want a channel, just ask. Anyway, we are here. This is the panel. Really excited to get into it. I would not bring people up here who do not impress me with their knowledge of college basketball. When these people talk about hoops, I'm listening. You should be listening too. Let's get into some ball, guys. Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference, always represented by one of the best, a tough out come March for anyone who runs into this mid-major. I'm going to open it up with 3-point sniper. Jackson, I want to hear what you're thinking about for the Missouri Valley Conference. If you have any inklings, any plays, any teams you can't even touch that you hate and you won't bet on, let it rip. It's the The floor is open. It's the Justin Perri show, but it's all about the guests. Have at it.
Well, I know Max and myself have been burned by UNI quite a few times this year, so definitely going to tread lightly with them, depending on what their matchup's going to be, but we'll just have to see where the line's set. I know Max has also put out one of his favorite futures for this conference with Indiana State. I kind of agree with that. I also think it's intriguing with Drake coming from the bottom half of the bracket. I do think that there's a path that we see both of these meet, which would be incredible. Drake's down there with a 3C Bradley, and they've already beaten them twice this year, and it was pretty handedly. And if you don't remember, last year they also smacked them by like 26 points in the MVC championship. So it's a really bad matchup for Bradley. I do like Bradley as a team, but I think Drake just kind of is a bad matchup for them. So I think there's a really solid chance that we see that powerhouse Valley final that we want to. And I'm thinking about taking a step in on Drake at plus 210 because I do think that they're going to make it to the final. And personally, I think I'd rather be sitting in the final with a plus 210 ticket on Drake as opposed to maybe like a plus 110 or plus 120 Indiana State. But I think, Indiana State will be favored in that game, and it would be an awesome final if we can get it.
It is currently sitting, I think, plus 170 on Indiana State right now, guys. You can get some good pricing. Rohtas, we talked about this one a little bit already today. The amount of times Rohtas and I are just talking about college basketball all day. You could be in our text messages. We could have a whole nother show from that. But, Ro, what are you thinking about some of these MVC conference tournament teams? Anyone you're fading, you're buying? Do you like what 3 Point Sniper's saying?
Yeah, I definitely have been in the same boat as you guys, getting burned by Northern Iowa a few times this year, and there's a part of me that feels like that is the reason why they have a little bit of tournament. Just watched that last game of them against Southern Illinois, where they went into Southern Illinois, a very tough place to go and win, and they were hitting everything and not coming off screens, hitting tough jumpers over and over and over again. They got some shot makers, and if they can carry that into the tournament, they've got a chance to make some noise and fly under the radar. Now they're playing their best ball right now. I think it is those top four teams that you obviously have to look into. Outside of that, it's going to be tough for a team like Belmont or someone else to really beat an Indiana State or a Drake. I do agree with Jackson that it should be Indiana State and Drake. We all deserve to see Robbie Avila versus Tucker DeVries. I think that's like one of the best mid-major matchups in the country. So whoever you like, it really could go either way. They split the regular season as well, so it really is up for grabs. My pick probably is Indiana State, though. I think they are the slightly deeper team, slightly overall better team. They should get it done. Hopefully, we'll see.
I love it. Tim, what do you think of that? Talk to me. What you taking anything on Arch Madness?
Well, yeah. I mean, the MVC usually the tournament is always a lot of low-scoring games. So, I mean, I look forward to the unders a lot in all these games. I have a buddy, Joe. We went to college together at Illinois State for 1 year. We ran intramural leagues down there. We run the courts. But he's my MVC insider. Now, he really likes Drake and Indiana State as well, the two top clear teams. Wouldn't be surprised if Bradley sneaks their way up there somehow. They're a really good team. Also, Southern Illinois. They got a guy named Xavier Johnston. Top 5 leading scorer in the nation. He's a really fun player to watch. If they make a little run here, win a few games, I actually would be looking to bet against them because, they're not very deep. He plays about 37 minutes a game. He's going to be very tired. So hopefully they can make a little bit of a run and then maybe get on a side against them 3 or 4 games in.
So it looks like SIU is going to come up on the bottom of the bracket here. If you wanted to go pull it up, I'd definitely recommend it. I think using the bracket to handicap is really important. Like if you aren't aware of the pathway or the potential pathways, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, especially in futures. But SIU is going to play UIC, and then the winner plays Bradley, and then the winner of that plays the winner of the Drake game. So it's a tough path for SIU. But Max, we'll come to you. And again, guys, the floor is open. If you think something you want to just jump in, you don't have to wait for me to prompt you. But we like to start with a little bit of organization, of course. Max, what are you thinking about this? There's so much to go on here. We just saw Rock Lobster jumping in here. Love Mr. Rock Lobster, saying the winner of this conference wins at least a round. Do you agree?
I could see that. This feels like a 12 seed. Whoever wins gets a 12. They can beat a 5. That was Drake last year. I mean, they had Miami the entire game, and then obviously that team ends up making the Final Four. So you never know. Now, Tim mentioned he likes playing the unders, and that is something I like to do as well. I've got the last 9 seasons totals 131.5 or higher. The under is 65%. And
is that in
me,
Arch? At MVC,
yep,
at the MVC? Oh,
at
nice.
the MVC. And that makes sense to me because, when you watch these games, they pack the stadiums. I mean, it is intense basketball. Every game matters. I mean, it's Arch Madness. That's why it's got that name. It's the best. Ultimately, I went big on Indiana State plus 170. The last 12 Missouri Valley champions have been the favorite in the tournament game. And ultimately, if Indiana State gets there, they will be the favorite. This is usually a, cream rises to the crop kind of conference. It's always fun in between, but ultimately last year Drake was that better team and they got it done. This year, I think it's Indiana State's turn, unless Tucker DeVry just goes, nuclear. I think the better team, Indiana State, gets out of this conference.
Is he the best player in this tournament in terms of the impact, or is it Johnson out of SIU? Could he take over, or is it it's open to anybody?
That's so tough because they're both just great players, but I'd probably trust Tucker maybe a little more. But I mean
we also got what do they call him? Larry Nerd Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They got literally Josh Schurz yesterday on media calling him those names at the press conference. Everybody laughing with the tournament on the table. I mean, the trophy on the table. But
he has so much like Cameron Krutwig vibes from Loyola. Like, I don't understand why. Like, people need to just stop talking about the way he looks and just accept the fact that he is a beast.
He's a beast. Yes. All right. So we all love our guys out of Indiana State. I was literally sitting here like, I'm going to wait for the panel. I'm going to let these guys talk me into a team or not. So, all right, before we go, because I think I'm just going to listen to you guys. I'm going to take Indiana State. Does anybody have any objections to getting a good price? I mean, you're definitely seeing above a plus 150 right now for this team. That's a good value? No, anyone disagree?
It's solid value.
Indiana State.
I think if I had to go with a ticket, like I stated earlier, I think I'm going with Drake though.
Okay. I mean, I like it. You think this is, again, open to anyone. Is there a reason to maybe take both and hope that you're holding like a plus 170 and a plus 210 when they meet up in the final and then you're good? We've talked about this being a conference where the best teams really do get to the end. Is like what I guess the big game there for that is then Bradley Drake, which has been back and forth. So let's talk about that last little matchup because we just saw that game again recently, right? Like we just had a Bradley Drake game. They just met each other for the second time this season. That's probably the game of the tournament. Like who gets to go? Oh, we got a tough call here. GSD coming in saying you and I don't know. Go take that. What plus 11?
You and I upsets Indiana State. I will be so mad after what I've gone through this year. I will be so mad.
That would be on par for the year, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's been that type of year, guys. Now I had an interesting thought, but we'll keep this going. So I am still seeing a plus 160, plus 170 is available. I think that's going to be my Missouri Valley pick. I'll make it right here on the show. Maybe do a little write-up later, but probably go really small, half unit. Not going to be a big play for me, but I do think you guys are right. I think it's almost like a team of destiny. I remember like early in the season, there was such an edge on them because nobody was really aware of how efficient that offense was and what Robbie Avila and what that coach could do. Tim, have you found that like you've had an edge on this season for Indiana State being better than expected, or what's your feeling with them been like this year?
You know what? I've been on Indiana State a lot this year. I just love their coach. They have really good coaching. I think that's going to be a big factor in this tournament too. They have a really good offense. This MVC tournament, just like Max said, it's usually been the top teams that's been winning it. I agree. I think it's Indiana State. I think they have a better path to the championship. And like I said, coaching I think is a big factor. I think Indiana State's the play.
Let's go. All right, I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. Let's move on. A little Horizon League. This was I sent out a little poll this morning, asked the people which tournament they wanted to see me talk about. I'm going to write up a Horizon League preview. I've already made a few plays, and they've gone really well. So, unfortunately, it's going to be a little late to some of those numbers. I'll tell you guys right now, last night at FanDuel, I found 25-1 on Milwaukee, Cleveland State, and Northern Kentucky. I grabbed all three for a quarter unit 25 to win $625, and now none of them are at 25-1 anymore. So I'm super psyched. I wish I was asking people what tournament they wanted last night, though. This is maybe one of the most fun tournaments to me because anything that can happen. That's why I went with those big tickets. Are you guys trusting some of those higher seeds that Youngstown, Green Bay is kind of in trouble? There's so much to discuss here. Jackson, I'm going to come to you again to start it off. What do you think of the Horizon?
No, I was hoping that you were going to get to one of the longer tickets I was looking at, but that just goes to show how crazy the Horizon is and all the madness that can happen. I was taking a look at Purdue Fort Wayne, anywhere from like the plus 1,300 to plus 1,500 range. They're playing, Robert Morris in that opening round game, and Robert Morris has completely laid down. They're done with the season. They're getting blown out every single game here coming down the stretch. Purdue Fort Wayne has won 4 out of their last 5 games, including a dismantling of Green Bay at Green Bay. And we had taken that bet on shot quality. And so with that matchup in the quarters, you've already seen that they have what it takes to take out a Green Bay. If you can get a plus 1,300, plus 1,500 ticket in the semifinals, you're sitting pretty in case you want to hedge or anything. And this team, they can score, man. They have 4 guys out 13 points per game. Like I said, they're playing great ball. I like their draw. I think it's worth a flyer.
All right. What about you, Rohtas? Is there a team maybe that you love here? Is there a team? Because I think the other side is really interesting too from you guys. Maybe sometimes other teams you won't touch. I don't know. Either side, Ro, what do you think in the Horizon?
Yeah, this is such a fun league, as Jackson mentioned. I think 2 teams that stand out to me in terms of who I like. If you'd asked me going into the conference season, my pick would have been Cleveland State. And even going into the first few games of the Horizon, they were looking great. You'll be hard-pressed to find a more fun duo to watch in Tristan and Aruna and Drew Lauder. They have the green light, like a true green light from anywhere on the court. Like, you will watch them put it up. They are one of the best rebounding teams on the country, especially on the offensive glass, and that's why you'll see them put up shots in that way. They're defensive-minded. They make it tough on you. They force turnovers. They're a very tough team to beat. I think you could see them potentially pulling off an upset after beating IUPUI. I think they could beat Youngstown as that in that quarterfinal matchup. So Cleveland State's a team to definitely keep an eye on. But my pick, the team that I like the most, is Wright State. I think the talent overall on that team is elite, and they're a team that's been playing a long time together. Plus, Tanner Holden's come from Ohio State to get back to the tournament. Like, he came here for them to do one thing, and that's to go to the NCAA tournament and go on a run. So to me, Wright State is my pick. Gonna have to sweat out that first game though against Northern Kentucky, because that's gonna be possession to possession down to the end. But those are my 2 teams in the Horizon that I certainly
Let's go. We'll see how those futures go. I'll be rooting for Cleveland State with you. Tim, what do you I'll come to you on the Horizon here? This is some interesting basketball, of course. Nobody ever kind of knows what's going to happen in the Horizon. How are you attacking that? Is there a team you like at the top, a team you like at the bottom? GSD says we're all buying lottery tickets. I like buying lottery tickets at good numbers. Nowhere else. You're muted, Tim. Sorry. I got you. Oh, you got to do it. Still muted. All right, Max. Well, Tim. Oh, there he is. There he is. Tim, what you got?
My bad.
Sorry,
my dog was barking.
It's called a J Smooth for a reason, right? So.
Yeah. This tournament, anything could happen. I mean, Oakland's been my team all year. I've been betting them a lot, whether I'm on their side or an over-under, usually an over with them. But, this league, anything could happen. So it's tough to pick an outright winner. But if I had to pick one, I'd go with Oakland just because they've been my team. I'm rooting for Green Bay. I mean, the way they were last year, if they could come out and win this tournament, that'd be a really good story. So I hope Green Bay wins, but Oakland's my squad.
Is Green Bay still dealing with that injury to one of their main players, Max? Do you know about that?
they've been terrible down the stretch here. So I think their run is done, but I'm just still rooting for them.
I think they lost a key player, so I'm not sure if he's back. Jackson, you know anything about that?
I don't think he's back now.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely something to keep an eye on. They definitely fell off at the end of the season. It was tough for them. I think the odds are a little bit representative of that player and their performance expected to continue. I mean, sitting 10-1, 9.5-1, pretty indicative of what the expectations are, even though they have the 3 seed. And that's what colored a little bit of my play on the 6 seed, which I think is Milwaukee, right? So, like, I really like the value of Milwaukee being the highest ranked team in the first round means they automatically go and see Green Bay if they win. They can't go to 1 or 2. They will go to 3. So Milwaukee wins. They go to a weak Green Bay team. I think that means you have them in the semifinals, and I'm holding a 25-1 on that. That's why I made that play one of my favorite plays, and that's the one that's fallen the most. So I think a good spot. Max, though, talk to me about Horizon. I know this is kind of in your neighborhood, right? You got some of these teams around you. What's the consensus? What's the feeling? Do you have a flyer or a favorite?
So I've only taken one, and this is a flyer only league. I'm not taking any favorites. I took Northern Kentucky 25-1 yesterday. I did not know that you were on it, but I like to hear that. Yeah, they're just one I take every year. They were 5-1 last year. They've only been in the Horizon eight years. They've won 3. They're always competing. And this league's wide open. Once you get IUPUI and Detroit out of there, I mean, Oakland's in first. Youngstown's balanced on both sides. Wright State is the most electric offense in this conference. True. But they're also, they're 31st KenPom offense, 343rd in defense. That is a massive discrepancy. It's tournament time. Maybe they tighten it up a little.
It's not going to fly.
But
it's not going to fly. You need defense.
And that's why I can't take them at plus like 300 or something. It's like they could lose first round to Northern Kentucky.
I hope they do. So, all right. So that's going to be a fun one. I'll drop some of the reasoning on what I played and which plays I'd still go for right now. A little later today on Shot Quality Bets. It's going to be through the site on the blog. So look out for that. That tournament starts tomorrow, of course.
And the Horizon is one that they reseed. So you got to make sure you pay attention to that too.
They do. And that's always interesting. And that's why I really think that you want to go in with a hedging mindset, because if that draw could lead to you maybe not getting the best matchup compared to what you wanted if there is an upset, right? So I don't know if that there will be, honestly. I mean, looking at that Horizon, those first 3 games.
It's IUPUI and Detroit Mercy as the 2 out bracket teams. So you're like,
right.
Those teams are going to have to pull off the miracle of all miracles.
You're not getting much reseeding. Is all I'm saying. All right, Jackson, let's go to you. I know you got to run, so I want to hear a little bit about what you got to say on the Sun Belt here. This is a really fun conference. This one, of course, tipping off. Oh no, A-Suns tonight, right? Sun Belt's tomorrow. Okay, so we got a day still on Sun Belt. This is a fun one. What do you make of this? Did you take the favorite at the top? I mean, there's a couple teams in the mix. It's the JMU and App State conference, right? I'm not losing my mind.
No, yeah, that's correct. I've already played this. I played JMU in this tournament.
I got App State. I'll say right now, but go ahead.
So I love App State as a team. They've been good to me this year. The only thing is, I think that their matchup potentially with either Arkansas State or the Raging Cajuns could be a tricky one for them. I'm a little worried about that. I feel like JMU is going to easily take care of their first round opponent, and then maybe looking at a matchup with Troy, I think they match up super well with them. And then, with it all on the line, I'm trusting the experience of that team in a final. So I'm with JMU here.
All right. I'll really quickly jump in and say my reasoning on App State was that I just want to hold a plus 210 ticket when those teams meet in the final. I just that's what I expect to have happen. I think this is a pretty heavy at the top league. I didn't really touch. What was that?
Similar reasoning to me with Drake in the Valley. So
yeah, it's hard. I mean, the only tie I would consider taking is maybe Ark State. I don't know what you think of that, Jackson.
I love Arkansas State.
They've been playing some good ball.
I am a little worried that they, play a little bit better at home, but they're still playing some quality ball on the road as well.
How do you guys handicap, these neutral sites? Do you go back and look a little bit at the non-con, how teams played on neutrals? Do you sort of just look into the home and away performance and maybe assume it's not going to be as bad as road games for a bad road team. Like, or also both teams are dealing with it, right? So you don't have one team in their comfort zone and the other team going into that. You have both teams meeting on a neutral. So, Tim, I'll come to you first with this one. How do you deal a 3-point Legion rise up? That's what I like to see. Let's go, baby. We love Jackson. He's only going to be here for another minute. But Tim, what do you make of the neutral court conundrum, and how do you deal with teams going from only true road, true home games in the last 2 months, now being maybe in a neutral site, a semi-home? I mean, we're talking about this one. This one's played. That's the ASUN in the pods. This one's played at what conference tournament? Who knows the home site with this one? I can't keep them all on track. So
yeah. So
anyone know where the home sites are? Okay, this is all in Florida. You're right. Thank you. So all right, Tim, what do you make of this one?
So for me, what I like to do is I like to take a look at their overall conference record and combine that with their away records. So it's kind of like put the two together and kind of mix and match. But I just feel like their away records and their in conference play, because when they're on neutral sites against other teams, they're not familiar with the other teams. And so I just kind of disregard the other neutral games if they had any. So I just mostly stay and look at the away record and conference play.
I love it, Max. How do you attack it? Do you have anything on the Sun Belt plate already? I think this is probably one where it is yeah. Thank you, GSD. Okay. Appreciate you.
Yep.
What do you make of this one in Pensacola, some Florida?
I played App State as well, and for the same reasoning, I want that money line price on hopefully a game with James Madison, and it will turn into all you'll hear is it's hard to beat a team three times in a row.
We don't do that here.
The biggest load of crap. With like over a 1,000 game sample size, the team that's won twice is 72%.
Wow. Max comes in dropping stats, boys. It's the best.
Well, I wrote it down last year because it drove me crazy, my mentions, when I would see it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And App State beat them twice, and if they get them again, I want App State.
Let's go. That's my play. Let's go. All right.
I'm with you guys.
Let's go. All right.
James Madison is really good, though. They are like really good. Like if anyone's gonna, buck the 3 times, it's them. But
so are we parlaying Indiana State and App State to get it through? Is that nah.
I love GC conference parlays. Come on, just throw $5 on it. Let's have fun. It's March.
And I have a contrarian one with Drake and JMU.
There we go. All right. Jackson, I know you said you're probably running in a few. We got lives to live out here. That's part of the fun on the Justin Perri Show. We talk about more than just bets. It's also what's going on, how we're feeling about bets. That's the difference. Now, before you get out of here, though, I want to see if you got any other plays for us. Anything you think we should be keeping an eye out? Maybe a tournament that hasn't even seen lines drop widely yet that you're targeted and on, ready to snipe and get us a future winner. Oh,
Charleston, baby.
Okay.
I've been wanting to talk about this since the beginning of the show, and I'm glad I get to bring it up now before I head off. The Cougs have won 9 straight games. I know that a lot of people are down on them because they don't have the impressive 30-4 record that they did a year ago. But if you go and look on shot quality, their offense is actually performing better this year than it did last year. It's just their defense has, fallen off a cliff to a certain extent. But if you get the right matchup, I think that they could do some damage. Now, speaking of conference tournaments, they're going to have an absolute war in the semifinal with UNC Wilmington. That's going to be must-watch TV. Trezarian White is a phenomenal player. He's probably going to be playing at Kentucky next year. So that's one to watch. But if they can get into the tournament again, I think they can make some real noise. Their first-round game, they matched up with San Diego State last year, and they had them on the ropes. And then lastly,
people forget that. That's a good point.
I want to give a huge shout out to Lamont Paris, head coach of the University of South Carolina, where I'm alum. He needs to be getting every single Coach of the Year award. The Gamecocks were picked to finish last in the SEC, and they are battling for a regular season conference title this week.
Wow,
that is insane. And we all can agree that the SEC is probably the second best league in the country. I think it may end up being the first after the tournament's said and done.
Oh, wow.
Then one final note, you guys are about to get, and I'll lead you guys into that on the Big South. Huge play on High Point here for me.
Okay.
You guys are going to note it. All these games are going to be playing in High Point. The fan support has been phenomenal down the stretch for this team. They are electric. They are fun. They are going to win this conference tournament. Justin, thank you for having me, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Hey, 3-point sniper, everybody. Give him a little round of applause. We appreciate him coming on. So much fun. Let's go a little bit wider on the screen here. Of course, we got a bunch more conversation coming up. We'll jump into these last 3 conferences. Everybody got to make sure they're comfortable. We're going to lose the 3PS brigade, maybe. People dipping out because their favorite guy left. That's okay. We're here to talk about the best of the best, the conferences that maybe no one else wants to dive in. We'll talk with the best on the conferences no one wants to. I'm struggling. Happy Monday, everybody. It's the Justin Perri Show, and we're going in on the Big South. So, all right, guys. We got Rohtas Wadera, Maximilian, Tim Splant. You guys all do such a great job informing me personally on how to attack this game. So there's not really too much I need to guide you guys on. Talk to me about the Big South. Max, we'll go around the horn. Come to you first. Are you standing with 3-point sniper and laying it on the line? Big whale play on High Point.
This is one I passed on. I couldn't find a play, but after he came on and liked it, I'll put a little something on High Point. I try to look for, well, they were around, I think they were around they opened around 110 plus 110, they're minus, I think they flipped
125 or so. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of missed the move. So I didn't play it, but
all right. That's fair. That's fair. Tim, any thoughts here? Are you going to ride with High Point? Do you think that Asheville and Drew Pemmer can be the team to maybe disrupt them? There's some, I mean, that's what happened last year, right? But I don't know. What do you think? Muted again, buddy. We're going to have to call it the Tim Splant. There you go.
Sorry, I got a dog. He keeps barking.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I love High Point as well. They're my squad. I'm with them. I also like Gardner Webb. I think they could sneak in there and be a disruptive team.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good price on Gardner Webb, who arguably has the 3rd best chance. I haven't really liked what I've seen out of Winthrop this season. So I think, discarding them, Longwood has been too up and down. I don't think they have a chance to take down High Point. But if you ask me who's got the best chance to beat High Point, Rohtas, do you think it's UNC Asheville or Webb? We got to get our signal all the way up to California there. Rohtas, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. Who you got? Who's beating High Point? UNC Asheville or Gardner Webb?
I think if there is going to be a team, it's going to be UNC Asheville. Gardner Webb is an incredibly fun team to watch. When I look at they've got shot makers, a lot of great individual one-on-one guys. This kid from the Bronx, Julian Samaro, is a problem. So Gardner Webb could be a team. I agree with Tim definitely in that area, but Asheville with Drew Pember, the experience that they have last year, I think definitely gives them the best chance. But again, when we talk about home court advantage and High Point, are they really going to lose in their own gym? I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. Honestly, I really don't. Any other comments on this conference? Are you guys doing anything crazy? A little sprinkle? Anything? Anyone?
Nope. High Point for me.
Let's go. High Point it is. Add it to the list of squad rides. We might have a fun little TJPS parlay by the time we're done here. I'll let GSD have his minute here. I don't hate Longwood. They did already win, but I think seeing them again is going to be tough. It's a little bit of a different vibe end of the season when you win a game and it's kind of already decided. High Point's been the 1 seed in this conference for a minute already. I don't know how much credit you want to give that end of the season game. Who knows? Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. So, all right, High Point, the squad likes App State. Maybe we had a little resistance on James Madison, but all right, let's keep going. We got the A-Sun. This one's a fun one. Rohtas, I'm going to come to you first on the Atlantic Sun. What do you make of this one? Who are you taking to win it all? And do you have like a dark horse?
Yeah, I think for me, my favorite team has been the 1 seed that is Eastern Kentucky. They had an incredible like streak against the spread where they were losing everything ATS, and then all of a sudden they hit a corner once they got in a conference play and started winning everything. They've been a very profitable team the second half of the year, and I believe that big three that they have of Cozart, Blanton, and Moreno, that three is enough to not just win this tournament, but to make noise in March. They've got the shot blocker, the shot maker, and a three-point shooter to really make that team a tough one to beat. This team, though, with Stetson, Lipscomb, those two teams do worry me because they can get hot. Stetson has the ball handlers. A guy like Swenson can really handle the rock and dictate tempo, dictate the game. Stetson's a fun team. Lipscomb's a fun team. North Florida also, right? If they get hot, they put up the most amount of threes in Division I by a lot. So they get hot.
Who I
they
took.
can do it, but
that was my
Kentucky for me.
Yeah, that was my 25-1 flyer that I took. I did take Florida Gulf Coast. I've seen a lot of really sharp people on Lipscomb. Not Lipscomb, sorry, Stetson. A lot of sharp people are on the Hatters. There's no doubt about it. But my worry is that they're very volatile. I think that they could go cold. And if FGCU gets through that first game, I think it's a winnable game for them. I'm not sure that it's going to be the worst hedge out spot if you're holding a 25-1. I have the unit down. We'll see how it goes. It's a long shot, but all right, Tim, do you have anything here? And I just notice, are you wearing a Sickos shirt right now, Tim? Like what do we got on? Is that a Big Ten Circle of Suck shirt?
It's a Big Ten shirt.
Okay. It looks like when they all beat each other and you get like the Sicko circles. That's what I thought you were wearing, and I would have been really impressed. Shout out to the Sickos, but that's still a great shirt. What do you make of the Atlantic Sun? A little different, but still some good ball.
It's a really fun league to watch. I mean, when these teams are hot, there's a lot of scoring involved. And Lipscomb, Stetson, and Eastern Kentucky are my three teams that are going to be in it at the end. I ended up picking Stetson. I think overall they're my favorite of the three. But either way, any one of those three can win it.
I'm feeling like I shouldn't have played that Florida Gulf Coast one, guys. I mean, everyone I respect is like, Stetson probably. Stetson plus 600. I'm toast. Florida Gulf Coast is going to lose tonight. But that's kind of fun because we actually do have these teams in action tonight. So Max, let's talk about the Atlantic Sun as a tournament as a whole. But then for the people still hanging who may be looking for a play tonight, do you have any action in this tournament tonight?
I almost took Florida Gulf Coast, but ultimately I couldn't get there. The matchups tonight are really intriguing though, because you have like one team that plays super fast and then one that plays super slow. Kennesaw and Queens being the fast teams, and Jacksonville and Florida Gulf Coast like to slow it down a little. So, and sometimes when you get those differing styles, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I've got two bets actually on this conference. I just went small bets. I took Lipscomb plus 300, and I took Austin P at 9-1. Ultimately, Austin P, they won 7 of their last 8. Yeah. And one of those losses was to Lipscomb by 5, and they actually kind of blew that game. They should have won it. So,
was that at home or on the road, that one?
It was at home. It was at home.
Okay. So, that is a big blown game, and probably, more indicative of bad play going cold than not doing what they're supposed to.
But at 9-1, like I was looking for anyone but Eastern Kentucky. I could see so many different teams winning this that I couldn't get there with the lower price. So I took a little flyer on plus 900, and then hopefully they play Lipscomb plus 300, and then I'll do something. But
yes, let's go. Dakuchi in the house. What's up, man? Yeah, I like that one too. Let's go. Let's ride. I think it starts tonight. This should be a good spot. I'm on them. So GSD, you versus me, bro. I do think Queens loses on the road. I think they have been they have like one road win the entire season, like 1-15 away from home on the year. So that's not been pretty. I don't think that picks up there. This one's down at Stetson's gym, which is a little bit closer for that FGCU team to travel to, right? Semi-home. I'm not sure if they're going to have any fans out, but it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited. We actually have elimination basketball tonight, guys. So with that, let's move into – we can talk about the Ohio Valley quickly. I like to joke about basketball being beat Ken Palm sometimes. Like, are you smarter than a Ken Palm? This is – can you beat Moorhead, right? There's really not much to this conference besides who the heck is going to stand in Moorhead's way. I took them last night like plus 120. I woke up, they were even money. I put a huge future on this. I think this is one of the most clear-cut conferences that we have. I was looking at the Ken Palm numbers. If you parlay their expected matches, it comes out to like minus 113, minus 115 in the money line. You know, they're going to be like 7-point favorites at worst against any team in this conference. So open the floor. Anyone think that it isn't Morehead State coming out of the Ohio Valley?
Yeah, I got one.
All
UT
right, Tim,
Martin.
what do you got? Wow. Oh,
UT
you love 10 Martin, dude. You've been betting on
Yeah,
10 Martin all week. What is up with
I
you
had
and
a
10 Martin?
5-unit play on them recently, and it won. I mean, they're a fun squad. I mean, that's my squad right there. Yeah, I think they could compete with Morehead State.
Okay. That's a bold one. The price on them is pretty high. Are you gonna put some money where your mouth is on that, or are you waiting for a price? You want to see how they play? I'm pulling up pricing right now. It looks like 10 Martin's sitting around plus 450, plus 430. I don't hate it.
Yeah, what's Little Rock? What's their number at?
Like 225, but they've struggled. Yeah, 230.
Yeah.
They've struggled away from home a lot. I don't know. Is this a neutral court? I this one I'm not 100% on.
I think they're neutral.
Yeah, I think it is, right?
Yeah, not sure.
Yep,
if anything, I would go Tennessee Martin. I might sprinkle a little bit on them.
Evansville. Thank you, Rohtas. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good one. This is gonna be fun. I think I like that. I don't like that you like it because I put a bunch of money on Morehead, but Max, you think that's the right giant killer here in the OVC, or is Tim a little off on his love for UT Martin?
Hey, we could get some craziness here. We got it last year. Actually, it was the Southeast Missouri and Tennessee Tech. I'm looking at it last year.
I don't know if you remember that game. Did SEMO go dancing?
Yeah, as the 5 seed. So that was the game that went to overtime. They threw the full court, Leitner play, turnaround, and what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. The coach for Tennessee Tech, John Belfry was on obviously the Leitner game. He was on Kentucky. So kind of crazy to watch that.
That's crazy.
And you got to experience it twice. Wow, I love it. And hey, again, this is. I feel like when you get these big prices on teams out of a conference like Ohio Valley, there is definitely a lot of money to be made if Morehead stumbles. That's the big if, of course.
So I'll be watching as a fan. I got no bets, but yeah, I mean, I'll obviously bet these games, but nothing pre-game or pre-tournament.
Tim, you're getting. They're calling you wild in the chat, bud. They're calling you wild. You got your buddy Tennis Titan telling you you're wild.
UT Martin, they won 10 out of their last 11 games, and they actually beat Morehead State in that run.
What's that price, Tim?
430.
I don't have the prices up.
430 at FanDuel right now for UT Martin is what I'm seeing. I don't have every book open. FanDuel's pricing has been arguably the best.
Throw that leg in your parlay, Justin. Plus 430. I
might do some round. I saw a guy on Twitter who I like, who I'll probably end up bringing on the show, doing just like a round robin, like a 2 or a 3 round robin, choosing like every tournament, getting some dogs in there and throwing a couple bucks down. I'll do something like that. We'll post something like that in the Discord for sure. If you have not joined, definitely make sure if you're on YouTube, it is in the description. You should be able to join the Discord very easily. We'll be talking in there. It'll be a good time. Let's really quickly talk a little bit about just the games that are left. We got 10 minutes left in the show. Obviously, we've run through a lot. Maybe if you guys have any big takes, I'm not really – oh, actually, I do have one, and I didn't add it to the schedule. We'll go one more off-schedule topic really quick, the Big East tournament. Now, there's still games to go, but am I crazy to think that I want the field more than I want UConn, who's currently being listed around minus 150? We'll go around the horn. Max, what do you think of that? Do you like UConn at minus 145, or do you like the field at, a theoretical 15% hold or something like I don't know, plus 130, assumedly, plus 125 for the field?
I'd look to take the field. I mean, UConn's already got the 1 seed locked up. I mean, obviously you want to win the Big East, but I mean, anyone could win this conference. I mean, there was no fans, but Georgetown won it a couple years ago. People forget. They'll barely get to a winning record and get out of it, but there's no fans. I would look if Pitino's wearing the white suit every game, I mean,
Let's
how do you not
go.
take a little St. John's if Jenkins is just going to pull up and make every freaking mid-range shot? Well, I mean, why can't they win Why can't they
Because
win?
they're not going to drop coverage on him now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he was still hitting contested when
He
they did
was.
kind of get it, but
Yeah.
And I think didn't they have a lead on that was one of their blown games too in the regular
Yeah.
season, wasn't it? Them, Marquette, Creighton, they had a little streak going, but I don't know. I looked to take Johns, but it was 20-1. I was hoping to get like 25 or 30. So ultimately I don't have anything on it yet, but I would take the field.
All right. Rohtas, field or UConn?
I also tend to think the field, and if I'm making a pick for me, it's going to be Marquette. I think after everything that has surrounded Tyler Kolek and everything that all of the news that has been surrounding that team, I really think this is the perfect time for them to rally. And
I like it.
And
Yep.
The Big East, Madison Square Garden, that team is to me, what I think is so interesting is how do you put this UConn team up with the Florida teams that went back-to-back, the last team to go back-to-back. This UConn team, to me, probably is the team that has the best chance to do that. And if you put them in the same class as that Florida team, I think you can take UConn. If you truly believe that this team is that deep and as good as that team, then you do it.
Wow.
But otherwise, I think, the safer bet is the field. I'm taking Marquette.
All right. I think, and Tim, we'll come to you. I'll quickly insert that if I was going to do it, I'd be on the field. And I think I might already be sending out plays on both Marquette and Creighton because I think that's where it's going to go. Rock Lobster, the only team I wouldn't take is Seton Hall because I think they're way overpriced at 20-1. But Tim, what do you think?
I made the mistake of betting against UConn all of last postseason. I think that Final Four run, I bet against them 4 straight times and lost 4 straight times. So, I'm going to stay away from betting against UConn in postseason play.
We got a nice lesson learned through trying it out on your own. And that, look, maybe we'll sit here in 3 weeks and eat crow 2 weeks, actually. Wow. Cannot believe we are 13 days from Selection Sunday, guys. We're going to have so much fun here on the show. We got one more thing to do. 3-point snipers in the chat. And he decided that he wanted to give you guys all some classwork. So who is an All-American in your eyes that won't make an AA team? My 5, Jamal Sheed, David Jones. I'm All-American. Thank you, Brain. Vontarius Woolbright, Tucker DeVries, Enrique Freeman. So, all right, we'll go around the horn. I'll start with you, Max. Who is an All-American in your eyes that won't make an All-American?
I love that Woolbright call. That's a great one. And we didn't talk about this conference, but I did take Western Carolina plus 700, and I'm just hoping he can carry that team to an automatic bid. So, I mean, he's so fun to watch. If you haven't watched him, the way he plays, the guard forward position is just it's fun to watch.
I love it. Rohtas, what do you think?
For me, I think the guy that who I don't think who should, PJ Hall, to me is a guy who is consistently underrated, like criminally underrated year in and year out. A guy that will likely make all ACC first team, but not first team All America. You will be hard pressed to find a guy who is more important for their team than PJ Hall is for Clemson. So that's one guy. And then I think John L. Davis, a guy who I've hated on FAU, last year was against them the whole way. And the more I watch John L. Davis, the more I'm just like, you know what? You have every single time I try to go against you, you shut me up every time. That guy is a true gamer. The clutch shot making when it matters most, you want the ball in John L. Davis's hands. So those are probably 2 guys to me who I would take this in.
Are they getting that championship? They cutting down the nets in the AAC, Rohtas? Do you think FAU does it this season or no? Tough one, huh? Yeah.
I'll pick them for now, but I got to take a closer look at that bracket. I'll take a closer look at that bracket again. But yeah, if I had to, I mean, just close games. They've shown time and time again that you're not beating them in close games. So they find a way to win no matter what. So
their only
I would take them.
issue can be if Vlad Golden gets in foul trouble. I will say if that can lead to some of that spacing collapsing. But anyway, we're moving a little bit too far away. Tim, who's an All-American that won't make an All-American first team to you? We got a 5 from 3-point sniper, but interested to see if you got anyone else that isn't on that list.
Marcus Damask out of Illinois.
Hey, a homer pick. I like Damask. An
Absolutely.
SIU to Illinois transfer, huh?
Absolutely. The guy's a
Wow.
stud. Doesn't
I
get a lot of
watched him-
recognition.
I watched him beat the Sox off of who was that? It might have been FAU. Did they beat the Sox off of FAU or something at that tournament in New York? Someone they beat the Sox off of. But yeah, when he's on, he's a mid-range artist. It's so cool to see. I think they have a lot of potential in the tournament. Not a lot of people are talking about Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, big game tomorrow. After tomorrow, they'll be talking about him. They're about to beat Purdue.
Yeah,
Hey,
Justin,
Ooh.
that game you're referring to, yeah, you were probably at. It was against Florida Atlantic, and he shot 13 of 15 and dropped 33 points.
it was absurd. And Terrence Shannon Jr. also absolutely went crazy. I think the two of them
Yep,
combined to score like
they both
65
had
points on 30
33.
shots
They each
Right,
had
on
33
on like 15 shots each, right?
on 14 shots. Or no, sorry. 15 for Domask, and Shannon only had 9 shots. 13
Yeah,
for-
literally, they scored freaking 65 points on like 23 shots. It was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. I like that Illinois team. I like that call out. Embarrassed Tyler Wall on Saturday, definitely. All right, guys, end of the show. Really appreciate everyone in the comments hanging out, chatting with us. Thank you, Keith. A GOAT panel indeed. Super excited. The best part about these guys right here, they're all going to be joining us throughout March forever, honestly. All super sharp late night episodes with these friendly faces will be happening throughout the tournaments, throughout March Madness. You'll see them back here. We'll be sweating out some results, 11 p.m., midnight, making plays on the next day. It won't matter. These are the guys who you want in your corner. They're the ones I have in my corner. Ooh, there's a good question, though. Will Deron Holmes make the All-American team? I think so. I think he will. I think he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, now, before we get out of here for real, anyone have any picks they want to give out for tonight for the people hanging around?
Yeah, sure.
I got one. I'll give you guys one. I took Howard for 2 units, which is basically my Tim Splant 5-unit whale. I took Howard minus the 4. I think they are going to win that game by 10. There's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nicholls State minus 1.5.
I'm on them too. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Max. What's on your card tonight, bud?
It would be NC Central. I took it minus 4. It's kind of too high now, but I'll give out. I took a quick peek at tomorrow. Illinois minus 1 will be on my card for sure.
Oh wow. I'm sure Tim loves to hear that. Rohtas, what do you got? Anything you love tonight?
I'm headed to the Big Sky out west. I think Montana, to me, at home, historically does very well, taking on a not-so-good Idaho State team. That should be double digits. I'm liking minus 8.
Ooh, I like it. All right, we got some picks for you there at the end. Definitely want to thank my amazing panel for stepping in here today, talking to us. I know that date's a little bit wrong, and I'm not in the right place yet, but okay. It's March 4th. We have awesome games on tonight. Make sure you are here next time for the Justin Perri Show. We'll be back on Wednesday, late night sporadic. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're on everywhere that you normally find podcasts, Spotify and Apple. If you want to tune in the audio only versions, driving in the car, want to listen to some great college basketball talk. We'll be back on Wednesday, another great panel, and we'll catch you on some live before that. But I'm Justin Perri. This is the Justin Perri Show. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.